place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a...
Well, so thank you on behalf of the residents of these communities, and thank you for all you're doing. I mean, for so many people, it would not be possible to, leave their babies somewhere, not paying a fortune and being sure, positive, secure, going to work. So thank you for that. And thank you for joining us for this presentation. And hopefully this is the beginning of a great future cooperation and friendship. I really hope so. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity to see you here in Israel.
I just wanted to insert that if anyone's interested in learning more about Naamat USA after the program, or Volunteers for Israel, since we're combining now, we'll stay around for a while after the presentation and are happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, great. So in such a case, if all the organizers of this presentation are done speaking, so I would like to introduce Eden. Eden is a young, beautiful, charming lady. She will introduce herself better. Actually, and unfortunately, I don't know her personally. It was all Zoom and emails and phone calls. But I was very impressed by Eden. She can hear me, so I can say that loud. And I would like us all to listen to her story. Now, she will be telling us her private family history, and then a bit about general Ethiopian circumstances here in Israel. And you're more than welcome to ask questions. I mean, it's okay. You should not feel rude. You should not feel like, oh, it's none of my business. Maybe she doesn't want to talk about it. It's totally fine, okay? We had a long conversation about it. So she will tell you that story, and then she's open to questions. And actually this presentation, unlike the other, most of them, when the speaker spoke forever, and then it was not enough time for questions. So this time it will be a shorter presentation by Eden, because she would like you to be able to ask questions, and then we can open like more broad angle of the Ethiopian Jewish diaspora. For the new guests, the new audience, I'm Julia. I did not introduce myself. I'm Julia Newman. I'm a tour guide. I'm Eden's colleague, since she is a tour guide as well. And Steve Plotkin and Ilana Blumenthal and myself are responsible for the last 49 presentations, and we have future programs, and you're all more than welcome to join us. The last but not the least, before I just mute myself, these presentations are free of charge, as you know, but donations are highly appreciated. Since Eden does not have a PayPal account, so I placed my PayPal account as usual. And you're more than welcome to donate and support Eden, and all the donations will be directed to Eden from my PayPal account as soon as I get the donations. So thank you in advance for joining us, for supporting Eden. And Eden, thank you for joining us. It's all yours.
Okay, thank you so much that you invited me. I'm very excited, so I'm sorry if I will be more emotional or something like that. So we will start. So good afternoon. My name is Elias. I am a 25 years old Israeli of Ethiopian descent. I'm one of 11 children in my family. 3 of us were born in Ethiopia and 8 were born here in Israel. A little bit about me. Today I'm doing a master's degree in tourism and hotel management at Ben Gurion University of the Negev, doing a thesis on Ethiopian Jews heritage centers. I have a bachelor degree in Israeli studies and tourism. I am a tour guide in Israel and tour guide in the educational system. Works at the Children Learning Center called Diaspora of Elie Wiesel, if you know him, rest in peace, foundation. Works with at-risk youth and people with special need. Okay. I did a national service at Hadassah in Karim Hospital in the medicine department. Okay. Great. So today there are approximately 150,000 Israelis of Ethiopian descent in Israel. 88,000 immigrated from Ethiopia to Israel, and 62,000 were born in the Jewish state. Ethiopian-Israelis account for 1.7% of the population of Israel, of the Israeli population. I thought that the best way for me to tell you the story about Ethiopian Jews in Israel will be to tell you about my own family and our experience. Both of my parents grew up in small old Jewish villages of about 30 families near Lake Tana of the Gondar region of Ethiopia. Most of the people in their villages were family and relatives, like the vast majority of the people in that part of the country, and like their parents before them. In Ethiopia, my parents worked as small-scale farmers using ancient farming techniques and sold their crops on the open market. My mom came from a family of Ethiopian Jews rabbis called Kesim. My grandfather was Kes Maharat. In the middle, you can see my great-grandfather, Kes Maharat. So this is a picture that we have. My mom came from a family of, sorry. So when my parents were young children in Ethiopia, their parents taught them that there were Jews and that the homeland of the Jews was a place called Jerusalem. My parents grew up dreaming about the possibility of one day going to live in Jerusalem, but they did not know if that day will actually come. All of the families in my parents lived in primitive huts called tukul. Each family had their own tukul in Mom village. Since there was a Kes living in her village, there was also extra tukul which used as a synagogue. My father's village did not have a Kes, so they prayed outside. After my mother married my father, she moved with him to his village, which was a one-day walk from her village. The status of women in Ethiopia was that the woman does the housework, but in Israel, everything is changed. And the woman is both working outside and taking care of the house and the children together with the husband. My parents practiced an Ethiopian version of Judaism, which consisted of not working on Shabbat, praying in the synagogue, and observing the holidays of Sukkot and Pesach. On Pesach, they stop eating the
Chametz.
On Pesach they stop eating the normal Ethiopian bread called injera, and instead they made their own matzah, which they called kita. They also observed a holiday called Sigd, which is unique to the Ethiopian Jews community, and it reminiscent of Moses going up Mount Sinai. On this day, which occurs 50 days after Yom Kippur, they dressed in white and walked to the top of the mountain, as you see, and on the top of the mountain where they said praise all day and then had a big dinner when they came back down in the evening. My parents, in early 1983, my parents heard from other Jews in the area that it was possible to walk from Gedarif across the border into neighboring Sudan to the United Nations refugee camps there. From those camps, they could be taken by Israeli operatives to the land of Israel. Although my parents had never been to the Sudan, and they knew that the 3-week walk to the Sudan was very difficult and dangerous, they decided that this was the chance they hoped for all of their lives to go to the promised land, and it worth the risk. So together with most of the members of both my mom's and father's families, as well as other neighbors from the villages, they organized themselves to make the journey to the Sudan. They sold most of their possessions to hire the money needed to hire a guide which would show him the way. My oldest brother Simcha was 8 years old at that time, and my oldest sister Jasmine was 4 years old. My brother Gideon was just a 1-year-old baby. The journey from my parents' village to the United Nations refugee camp in the Sudan was 220 miles and took them 3 weeks on foot. Before leaving the journey, my parents thought that their guide would take them all the way to the Sudanese refugee camp, but instead he only took them to the border with Sudan and then turned them over to a second guide who again needed to pay for his help, who took them to the rest of the way. The trip was difficult, but thankfully my parents were luckier than other Jews who made the same journey and were robbed away along the way, or deserted by their guides, or lost family members during the journey. When my parents arrived to the red, black, and sandy desert camp, they joined more than 10,000 other refugees from Ethiopia, of whom about 700 were Jews. The rest of the refugees were Muslims who spoke Arabic. It was not easy in the camp because my parents did not speak Arabic, but still, they managed and were given a tent and had access to some food, water, and medical care. Still, it was very difficult in the camp. And 3 of my cousins died there. My brother Gideon also got very sick, and they feared he will die as well as as well, but my mom and grandmother managed to nurse him back to health. When my parents arrived in the camp, they were recognized by some of the other Ethiopian Jews already there. Later, they were registered by Ethiopian Jews operatives in the camp who were quietly working for the Mossad agents who were active outside the camp. Though some operatives would periodically visit them during the stay in the camp and bring them money, which enabled them to live more easily in the harsh camp environment. They lived in the camp for 18 months before finally being rescued by Israel. While in the camp, they were given the option of immigrating to the United States, but my parents declined, wanting only to fulfill the dream of immigrating to Jerusalem. However, two of my cousins, who were young and single at that time, did accept this offer and were brought to Chicago, where they still live today. Finally, in November 1984, the Jewish operative came and told my parents that they would return in the evening to take them and others to Israel in rescue effort named Operation Moses. On that night, the Mossad agents came with 10 buses and took 400 Ethiopian Jews, including my parents and siblings, for 260-mile ride to the international airport in Khartoum. After arriving in Khartoum, they boarded a private commercial flight, which stopped once in Greek for refilling and then continuing on to Israel. Operation Moses continued for 6 more weeks like this, eventually bring a total of 6,500 Ethiopian Jews in Israel, to Israel. So this is my family. When my parents arrived in Israel, the first thing they did was kiss the ground. My parents and 3 siblings were taken to the Kalanit Absorption Center in Ashkelon and were given a small 1-bedroom apartment. This was their house, together with 70 other Ethiopian Jewish families for the first 4 years of their life in Israel. It was where they learned Hebrew in classes for 4 hours a day, and also where 2 more of my siblings were born. After 1 year in the Ulpan, my father was able to find a job at a wood factory where he worked for 14 years before switching to an iron plant where he worked for another 19 years. He's still working today, although now as a street cleaner. After 3 years in the absorption center, my mom also found a job cleaning offices at the Israeli electric company Chevrat Chashmal in Ashkelon, which she continued to do this today. finally, after 4 years of living in a one bedroom apartment with two parents and 5 grown children, my parents managed to buy a 4-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment in Ashkelon, thanks to 100 government backed mortgage, which they received from the bank. It was while living in that apartment that I and 5 more of my brothers and sisters were born. We lived in the house 13 people, sharing 1 bedroom for 20 years. In 2009, my parents sold the apartment and brought a much bigger cottage with a garden, 5 bedrooms, 2 floors, and a basement. This is where I live today with my parents and 2 brothers and 1 sister. So this is the picture of my brothers and sister in the Kalanit Absorption Center. This is Simcha, this is Gidon, and this is Jasmine, who do the journey with my parents. This is my mom and my father, Michal Mentuav, this is her name in Amharic, and my father, Jacob, Telaun, this is his name in Amharic. And this is all of my family. This is my sister Dalia, Rachel, Gashau, Joshua, my mom, my brother Hanania, my father, my brother Simcha, my sister Mayan. Here we don't see, but my brother Avram, he's there. And this is our ex-girlfriend at that time. This is me, my sister Jasmine, and my brother Gidon. So this is our story. So thank you for listening. And I'm here to answer any question you have.
Eden, toda raba. Thank you very much. You know, as I was listening to you, I recall myself in an absorption center since I immigrated from Russia back in 1977, way before Eden was born. And we lived in an absorption center in Ramat Aviv called Beit Milman, if you ever heard of this one. Anyhow, so we do share something in common, but definitely my experience is so different from Eden's experience. Not just because of the color of our skin, but also because of, well, I am the only daughter. And so we had, you know, the absorption centers, they're more or less the same. So my family of 3 had same size of an apartment as Eden's. And then we moved to Ramat HaSharon, so it is so different. Well, I would like it to open it to questions. Okay, let's see. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to either write it on chat or just unmute yourself. I will start with what we already have here. Okay, so the first question was, Eden, when your parents and other Ethiopian Jews left their homes in Ethiopia on their way to Sudan, did they know for sure that they will eventually make it to Israel? Did they have a promise that they will be taken to Israel?
I think that yes, because they heard from another Jews that there is some way to go to Israel, and there is the Israelis actually are involved. in this operation. So that's why they actually decided to do the journey. I know and I knew some men that I know. He worked with the Ethiopian in Ethiopia. I don't know if you know the organization of the AAEJ, the American Association for Ethiopian Jews. There were young that were actually were active in Ethiopia in all the villages that the Ethiopian Jews lived, and they came and told them that they do the journey to Sudan. So a lot of people actually do that and go and left their houses and do the journey. So yeah.
Okay. So actually they were quite positive that they will make it to Israel at some point, right?
Yeah, but they did not know what can be, you know, the way in the middle of in the camps there in Gedarif in Sudan. They were in 3 camps in Gedarif, in Toava, and others. Like all the time they moved from other camps, and then finally they told them that they will be they will go to Israel. So yeah.
Did your family have to leave anyone behind before making the journey to Sudan, knowing that it would be too hard?
No, because all of their all of the families, all of the neighbors just left the villages and do the journey. So no.
Is there any discrimination against Ethiopian Jews?
Yes. Yes, there is a discrimination in Israel. I can say it started in when that the society here in Israel, not all the people believe that we are Jews, and I think it started from there, and it's takeouts for a lot of places that actually we felt discrimination, like the place that the areas and the places that the Ethiopian Jews lived. It's when we talk about education, when we talk about right now, a lot of young children feel the discrimination of like the police violation. So yeah, but still I believe that we can move it, and if we you know take education, we can pass that, and we must fight on that, fight against discrimination. And that's what I think, that you know my like we must do that.
Okay. You know, I would like to add something to it. When we immigrated, you know, Soviet Russia was did not want to have anything in common with religion, no matter whether Judaism or Christianity. And so my family was almost fully assimilated. And well, they did decide for various reasons to make Aliyah. But when we came to Israel, that was the first time for all of us to hear about the Jewish holidays. The first time I ever heard of Passover and Sukkot and, you know, the rest of it was here in Israel, actually on an ulpan. And it was true for my parents. And then we started celebrating it little by little. And so, but nobody ever questioned my Judaism because, you know, I was written down in my papers that I'm Jewish, and that was enough. Even though I have no clue about Judaism whatsoever, while Eden's family was questioned, and more than questioned at the time, simply because the differences in color of our skin. So yeah, being white is a privilege. Okay, next question was, how did your parents meet?
How they so it's in Ethiopia, it's like this, like the parents of the girls, they meet for them
A matchmaking.
Yeah, they do a matchmaker. And my actually my the brother of my dad, he decided to find a woman for my mom. So he came to her village, and he met her uncle, and then they met her, and then they married and everything.
Okay. How many languages do you speak?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can say 4. I'm speak English, but not too well. Okay, only okay, I can say. My Amharic, it's a shame, but I'm a little bit speak Amharic, a little bit. I need to improve my Amharic too. And I understand Spanish very well, but
Hebrew.
What?
Hebrew. Don't forget the Hebrew.
The Hebrew too. Yeah, this is my mother tongue, so I cannot yeah. Yes.
Okay. You know, guys, I want to share something with you. When I was looking for somebody to give this presentation about the Ethiopian Jew, so somebody gave me Eden's number, and I was not 100% sure that this is the number of the person I was told. Like I had it somehow mixed up. So I called her and said, "Hi, your name is Eden," and she said yes, but I was not quite sure. So I said, "Are you an Amharic-speaking tour guide?" And she thought about it, and she said, "Well, I am a tour guide, but I'm not sure I can guide a tour in Amharic." And I said, well, I don't need you to speak Amharic. It was just a question. So that's how I knew that Eden is the one. All right. How old were your parents when they made Aliyah?
They were, my father was 40. You know, the age of the Ethiopian, we don't know, because they doesn't registered or something like that in Ethiopia. So it's in the middle, like they look on them, and so they said maybe this is the age. So it's up or above or less. So I don't know if this is their age, but they came here, like my father was 40 and my mother was 30. Yeah. Today they are my father is 80 and and my mother 70. Like this
More
is
or less.
the age.
You don't have a real birthday for them.
No, they don't have a real birthday. They gave them a year, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Does your family attend an Ethiopian-centered synagogue in Israel?
Yes, actually, in a place that we in Israel that they have a large community of Ethiopian in the cities. Like an example, here in Ashkelon, we have 2 synagogues. That this is synagogues of Ethiopian community. I know each and every city that have large community of Ethiopian Jews, they have at least one synagogue. Yes.
Okay. Is it easier, harder, or the same difficulty to immigrate to Israel today compared to when your parents came?
Oh, yes. Yes, I think that in at that time, my parents, I think they took it very easily. I think.
So you think today it is more difficult to immigrate?
Yes. For the people who immigrate here, yes, I see it. I see it because for them it's more hard to how I can say it, bleed in the society, I think. So that's why we heard and see a lot of problems, like that maybe some of the families divorce, or some of the families we can hear like stories about husband killed her wife because of this, because the transfer from Ethiopia to Israel. So, but we didn't saw that things in the when my parents, I can say, came here to Israel. They understand. I think very quickly that they need to
assimilate, to become part of the society.
Yes, and they want it. They want it. I can say that my parents wanted all the time that we are bleeding in the society. This is the thing that they were important for them. That we are learn Hebrew. That's why I'm not that much speaking Amharic well. So yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Have you and your family been to Ethiopia in recent years?
Sorry?
Have you or your family been to Ethiopia since they immigrated?
Oh no. I really wanted to do this, but my parents don't want to do that. Maybe because they have a trauma or something like that. They don't want to remember. But for me, I really wanted to visit in Ethiopia because this is the place that my parents born, and this is the place that after 205 500 years that they live there. So this is why. Yeah. So this is why it's important for me to see the place that they were.
Yeah, a heritage tour, roots tour.
Yes.
Why did Ethiopian Jews refer to Israel as Jerusalem? I'm not sure I understand the question, but this is the question.
Again, sorry?
Why did Ethiopian Jews refer to Israel as Jerusalem?
Oh, because they all the time they praise about Jerusalem. You know, there is a like as an example, I don't know how to say Hasidah in sorry, in English.
Stork.
Store. So
Stork.
they came all of the Europe and stop in Israel, and then all over they do the journey to Ethiopia.
Mm-hmm.
So they said all the time when they saw them, I'm going to say it in Amharic, Shimela Shimela, Agerat Shin Yerusalem Dena. So it means they asked them if Jerusalem it's okay. So for them it was like a hello when they came and returned to Ethiopia. So yeah, Jerusalem it's a place that it's very important for the Ethiopian Jews. This is the place that they were dream about.
Yeah, you know, interestingly enough, I know that Ethiopians are the only Jewish diaspora which use Jerusalem as a name, as the first name of a girl. We do use other locations. We do have like Jordan and Golan and Gilad and other biblical names of areas as first names, but not Jerusalem. And the Ethiopians do use it as a first name. Okay, how long before the children were able to go school with Israelis their age?
Like everybody else.
Huh?
Like everybody else.
Okay, like no, but the question is like when you immigrate, you don't speak any Hebrew. So did they go directly to their own grade?
Oh, no, they came to like a different class, like they've been in Ulpan, and then after they learn in Hebrew, then they took them to like the class they needed to be. This is the things that they do in schools.
How have your parents integrated into Israeli society? Are they still able to farm? I guess not.
What?
Can your parents farm? Do they do any farming?
Oh no. But in the garden they have you know, in our house they plant whatever they want, like in Ethiopia, but small.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's very
Okay.
No, for me when I see my parents doing that, like they plants and you know give water to what they do. It's for me it's exciting because I know that they are very, you know, like they love the ground because they related to the ground.
Ashkelon had many Russian immigrants years ago. Were there conflicts between Russians and Ethiopians?
I don't know, sometimes, but today it's not. Like I can say that we had at that time in our apartment that we live in the beginning, we had some neighbor from Russia, but when we all the time, like, you know, we were a kid, so we play outside and do like some noises and everything. He doesn't like that we did that and everything. So yeah, but not too much. Now I can say that we live in peace with everybody. Yeah, with all of our neighbors, no matter if they were from Georgia, or they came from Russia, they came from Morocco, they came from I don't know from where. So yeah.
Okay. There was a question. A gentleman wrote that back in 1978, he was in a kibbutz ulpan with an Ethiopian student. Do you know how did the Ethiopian arrive here back then? I know that there was an operation called, remember, do you remember? There was an operation organized by,
Operation Solomon?
No. I think Solomon was later, but anyhow, there was an earlier operation which brought a small number of Jews. I don't remember the name, so and then if you don't remember, so we move to another question.
Before Operation Moses?
Flying carpet.
Huh?
Flying carpet.
Flying something.
She's saying flying carpet.
Oh, flying carpet. As far as I
I
know,
think that was the magic carpet, and that was, I think, with the Yemenites, Operation
exactly.
Magic
That
Carpet.
was flying carpet was for Yemenites.
Magic carpet.
Right. Okay. Anyhow, I don't know the name. Eden doesn't remember the name. There was an operation organized by the Mossad back in 76.
There were operation called the Brothers, they call it, before the Operation Moses.
Right. Brothers started in, I think, in 76 and ended in 84-5. And this is the operation. Operation Brothers is the one Yola was talking about a few days ago. Actually, last week. Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, there was some. Okay. If your cousin could just get a flight to US, why was Mossad necessary for Jews to get to Israel?
Because they needed to rescue more Ethiopian, and they understand that this operation it's a little bit like מתחיל להסתבך, כאילו,
getting more complicated.
Yeah, it came more complicated. So those young people in the AAEJ, so they give some certificates for those Ethiopian to go to United States. It's about 2,000 certificates they give for the people. Mostly they give for the people who work quietly for the Mossad agents, because the Sudanese are wanting them. So some of them given the opportunity, the chance to go to United States. So they decided to go to United States, but my parents didn't want it to go to United States.
Okay, Eden, it sounds like you're getting a good education. Well, right. Are your siblings getting higher education as also?
Yes, some of my brothers and sisters decided to do that. My sister, so I can say about everyone. So my brother Simcha have a store, a clothes store, and he employment my brother Gidon and my brother Hanania. And my sister Jasmine, she is a QA. She work at like in iTech. I don't know if you heard about Tech Career. Tech Career is a organization that educated the Ethiopian youth to be in iTech courses. So my sister go there in 2008. And she right now she's a QA. She worked in a Klal company, insurance, She
Insurance.
insurance, yeah. This is a insurance company. My sister Dalia, she is the first who born in Israel. Now she live in Chicago.
Okay. So she, instead of Aliyah, she did Yerida.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the belief of family planning in the Ethiopian culture? Is there such a thing as family planning?
I don't understand the question.
האם בתרבות האתיופית יש עניין של תכנון משפחה, של הגבלת מספר ילדים?
Oh, no. They believe in purvu, like you say.
Yeah, meaning multiply and have as many children as God is willing to provide you. Okay, no family planning. I see.
No.
Okay.
But I can say in Ethiopia, it's not was easy to bring kids because there is no development medical there. So a lot of people were died because there is no hospitals or something like that they can do good treatment. So give them. So that's why a lot of people die there. So.
So you have many children, but you don't know how many will survive to be adults.
Yeah, and my mother, she said, I'm blessed because here when I came to Israel, I can. She gave a lot of children, so yeah.
And you all survived, thank God.
Yeah.
What is the attitude of Ethiopian Jews about marrying non-Ethiopians?
I think that there is a lot right now. We can see that a lot of people are married with others. Like there is a lot of people who married with non-Ethiopians. So yeah.
Okay. Your cousins in US, how are they doing? Where did they go? Do your parents have contact with them? And what language did your parents speak in Ethiopia?
I will start with the last. So they speak Amharic. My cousins live in Chicago. My cousin, she have an Ethiopian restaurant in Chicago, if you know, on Broadway Street. If some of you know.
Anybody from Chicago here?
Okay. So she have a Ethiopian restaurant. A lot of people came and eat injera there. So yeah, I think about 25 years she had this restaurant. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And which language did they speak in Ethiopia?
Amharic.
Okay.
Yes.
Is the discrimination against Ethiopians connected to the Sudanese refugees coming into Israel?
I don't know. I don't think so. But it's a lot of things. I think it's this is I think that the immigration doing things for someone who immigrate from one country to another, like we can see it like in global. when some people who immigrated from one country to another, they not bleeding well. So, and I think that the locals don't. I can say in the beginning, everybody was happy and very happy when the Ethiopian community came in Israel. But after that, a lot of problems came. So yeah.
Yeah, I would like to add something to it again. You know, back in 1991, I was on a bus, a public transport, on my way from Tel Aviv down south to Arava Valley. And the driver was listening to the news. And all of a sudden, there was an announcement that an airplane with Ethiopian Jews arrived. It was a secret until the very last moment. And then we got this announcement of an airplane landing. And, you know, I will never forget this amazing feeling that, you know, the radio was quite loud. And so all the passengers of the bus could hear the announcement. And then people were so happy, and people started talking to each other and laughing and you know, clapping their hands. And all of a sudden there was a celebration on the bus. You know, it took maybe a few minutes, but it was so amazing to see that people, like total strangers, Israelis from every possible diaspora, you know, and then we all heard about Jews coming to Israel, and it was a great joy. Yeah, and definitely things changed, and you know, yes, there are problems, but we still keep this sense of Judaism, you know, of being one nation, and then we keep fighting. But
Yes.
we are a nation.
And I can say that that everybody can say that they had a discrimination when they came. Like the Moroccanians can say that they they experienced the discrimination. Everybody, like, but I think this is Israel. Israel is a
melting
place
pot.
that yeah,
A melting pot for Jews.
Yeah.
Okay. What surprised your parents most about Israel?
Sorry, again?
What surprised your parents most about Israel?
What they love or something like that? I don't understand the
מה
question.
הכי הפתיע אותם? כשהם עלו לארץ, מה הכי הפתיע אותם?
So the thing that they surprised, it was that not everybody are living like a Jew. Like there is a Chilonim.
Secular Jews, yeah, non-religious Jews.
So like people are driving in Shabbat. People like, you know, cook in Shabbat. So they did not understand what is this. So,
what a Jewish state this is.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to mute somebody. Who is it? Okay. Eden, how is the current conflict in Ethiopia that we have been hearing about for the past week or so affecting Jews in Ethiopia? Are there any Jews left in Ethiopia, actually, the Falashmora?
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, this is affect the Ethiopian community in Addis Ababa or Gondar, I don't know where, that they right now there that they suffer from this. So yeah, and I understand that in this week there is a new operation that you know, today I don't know to say Sarah, but Pnina Tamano-Shata, she's a
minister.
She is a minister at the Observation Ministry. So yeah, they do the effort to bring Ethiopian Jews from Ethiopia to here right now.
Do your siblings have university education?
Yes, me, my sister Mayan, my sister Rachel. She's a nurse. My sister, she's a teacher, Mayan.
Okay. Yeah, quite a few of you. Okay. You and several siblings live with your parents. Are they married, or is it an Ethiopian culture to live in a family until marriage?
No, but we all are single. But yeah, right now we live in our parents. But I really wanted to move and be, independent and living by myself. But I will.
You will, definitely. What was the reaction of your family to be going to Israel but not live in Jerusalem?
Sorry again.
איך ההורים שלך הגיבו לזה שהם חיים בארץ אבל לא בירושלים?
I can say that I think yeah, this is for all of the Ethiopian who came to Ben Gurion airport. They didn't see Jerusalem, so it was very. I think they were surprised that they are not seeing what their parents told them all of their lives, that we will come and visit Jerusalem and da 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 da. So yeah.
Okay. Your grandfather was a rabbi. Okay. How did he learn how to become a rabbi?
He learned to be a rabbi. Yeah.
Okay, so there was a school for rabbis?
I can say something like that, but not in the way that we know. Yeah. Okay. And some of them, this is from father and father, like they.
Okay. Where do most of the Ethiopian Jews live now in Israel? Did most of them stay in Ashkelon?
No, there is a lot of Ethiopian who live in other cities in Israel. Like there are people who live from I can say Carmiel until Beer Sheva. So there is a lot of people who live in different cities. Yeah.
Okay. Have they changed in their practice of Judaism, learned new things? Have they taught their old traditions to others?
Yes, there is a lot of things that they were new to them. I don't know if they learn others. I don't think so. But I can say that when the children are like being more Orthodox, some of them not like, for example, not eating at their parents' house because it's not kosher enough. So yeah, sometimes we have things like that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's getting late, so we will take 3 more questions. Okay, I will just randomly pick them.
Julia.
And then if there's, yes.
Sorry, I know that Diana wanted to jump in from Na'amat and just ask a quick question.
All right, go ahead. Sure.
Okay.
So where's Diana?
Hi. Hi.
Hey, here you are back. Yeah.
Eden, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. So
Thank
interesting.
you so much.
I just heard that maybe you and possibly one of your brothers happened to be in a Na'amat daycare center when you were younger. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah. In Ashkelon, we have a Na'amat center. The area we lived before, we moved to another area in Ashkelon. Me and my brother Gashau, two of us, we were in Na'amat. It was wonderful. We were, I think, my brother Gashau, he was when he was, I think, when my mother she needed to return for work, so she put him in Na'amat. So he was like, I think, about 3 months until when he was 3. And me, I think they put me there when I was a year or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I do remember things. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It's
you have a good feeling about it, good memories.
Still, I was a child. So, yeah. But still, I remember when we eat, when we go and rest and go to sleep, when we like play in the garden. Yeah, I remember the children who were some of them like were go with me to school. So yeah, and some of them, when I see a picture when I was in Na'amat, I didn't know that we were in Na'amat like when we was younger, but I know we were in school. So it's very interesting when I see pictures of Na'amat. If you want, I can show you a picture when I was there.
Sure. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
I can send Julia if you want.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead. Send it to me and I will send it further.
I will send you.
Okay. So 3 random questions. Okay. So one is, did your family know about the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem in the year 70? האם המשפחה שלך ידעה על חורבן בית המקדש השני?
Yeah, I think yeah, because if we are taking the Sigd, the holiday Sigd, they all the time pray to return to Jerusalem. So they know what is Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a place that were the temple. So yeah, of course.
Okay. So let's see. Yes. Do your parents' generation feel that they were able to integrate into Israeli society? Are there any regrets? And if so, what?
To came to Israel after all of this?
Probably.
I think no, but sometimes my mother says that we have a chutzpah. So
chutzpah is being rude, being aggressive, a bit straightforward.
Having nerve.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you know the education that they had, it's you must respect your parents, you must do what they tell you to do, and you know the children who born and raised in here, we have a lot of chutzpah, so we are rude. so yeah.
Hey, Barbara and Steve wrote, we live in Chicago area and have been to your cousin's restaurant. Very different, but very good.
There is a lot of them. Ras Dashen, this is the restaurant of my cousins. Because there is a diamond and there is the Ras Dashen. The Ras Dashens, this is my cousin's restaurant. If you are there.
Okay. Well, does your whole family keep Shabbat?
No. No.
Okay. You got assimilated.
Yeah, and some of them, for example, my sister, she is not believing God, so yeah.
Okay.
We have everything. We have 3 of my sister and brothers are Orthodox and keep Shabbat and everything. I am like a conservative. Some of them Chilonim. So yeah, not keep Shabbat, not keep nothing. So yeah.
Okay. Well, last question. Do you and your family now celebrate holidays other than Pesach and Sukkot? For instance, do you celebrate Hanukkah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can say that my mother, she loved Hanukkah because I asked her why you love so much Hanukkah and why you are all the time doing a celebration in the house and everything. And she said that when they were at the observation center, and the first thing that my brother Simcha did, it was doing the lightning and everything. So she loved that, and she all the time ask us when it's coming Hanukkah. Yes, Hanukkah. So please tell me that I need to organize myself and do celebration at the house. So she loved Hanukkah. She just loved it.
Yeah, me too. And our next opportunity to celebrate Hanukkah is in 2 weeks from now. So we will definitely be celebrating. And, again, I remember being told about Hanukkah. I remember the first candles of the first Hanukkah I ever saw when I was like 8 years old. And then next year, my mother and myself, we went to buy a Hanukkah, and it was such a special thing. And we played the Hanukkah, and we light the candles, and we put the flowers. It was so beautiful. We never, ever heard of it before. So, and yes, we celebrate Hanukkah ever since, along with the other holidays. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much, Eden.
Thank you so much. You too. Oh. Nice.
What is it? Beautiful. Carol, what do you have there?
Carol, if you want to unmute, I just muted you because you guys kept showing up. So.
In 1991, I was on a tour and they took us to an Ethiopian village, recent immigrants, many caravans, and we were invited inside, and the hospitality was beautiful, and they were selling embroidery. And this is one of the pieces I bought, and I made a pillow.
Oh, beautiful.
And I love it. It's on display every day since. And you are beautiful.
Great.
Oh, thank you so
Carol,
much.
Barry, thank you. You are part of everything. Like every single presentation, you have something to contribute. I mean, I'm looking forward to see what you're going to say about Samaria.
Ah,
I want to thank Deanna and Jen and everyone and Deborah from Na'amat USA. We look forward to doing more programs together in the future. And thank you so much for teaching us about what Na'amat did for the Ethiopian community. Thank you to Eden. I know Steve probably wants to say a few words. And then Julie, if anyone does not receive our emails and wants to hear about future programs, I'm going to put the email down in the chat. It's just vfivolunteer@gmail.com. We just need your name, your location, and what email address you'd like us to use. And you don't have to be a volunteer to sign up just because it's called VFI Volunteer.
Eden, thank you so much for taking us on a 5,000-mile journey that none of us none of us have ever experienced. And anytime we think we have problems, we think about you. Your English, by
Thank
the
you
way,
so much, and appreciate you very much.
your English, by the way, is excellent. And I wish you good wishes for your career as a tour guide. And you've got an excellent example on the other side of the screen here with the blonde hair named Julia.
Thank you.
So thank you so much again for opening our eyes to arenas that we just now are familiar with. It was great.